I don't know what. Let's do this.
All good. Hey everyone, we are back with the amazing hands-on session on the live stream that we have been doing on the every Thursday on the same time for uh, today. We are going to see the Alith, like the introduction of the DeFi on the Alith. We're gonna see how you can build the DeFi AI agent on the using Alith AI agent framework. So we will be waiting like 1 minute more to get the few people more on the live stream, and feel free guys to check out our previous video. Before we start, I would like to give the little bit introduction, and before that I would like to suggest you all guys that feel free to go to the YouTube or the X accounts like Metis L2, the main account or the Metis developers account, to check our previous workshops that we have been doing on every week on the Thursday on the same time. Feel free to go there, check out there, and let us know any feedback, any suggestions that you would love to see the next workshop on this topic, or anything you would love to know more about in in depth, any topic or anything. We are open for that. Feel free to drop your feedback and suggestions to uh, Telegram Metis developers account channel or Elite Dev community. Okay. Um, Always happy to support you guys. And okay, I think we do have enough people have been joining. Um, so I'm Nidhi Nakrani, the DevRel team from Metis, and we have today the Mart from the GMetis, and GMetis is the CVP approved project on the Metis. So Mart is going to present. We are going to explore DeFi with the Alith, and I'm going to hand over to him after a few more minutes. So, Mart, I would like to know, like, how much excited you are about this workshop that you are going to say more about the DeFi term, especially using the Alith framework.
All right. Thanks for the intro. Well, I'm extremely excited. Thank you, Nidhi. It's I know it's a fantastic audience. I'm pretty much probably know like half of you. I love the community, and trying to be as much in touch with all of you as possible. I have a very short but very meaningful connection with Alith in the last couple of months. And yeah, it's been really like a fun ride trying out different features and possibilities with it. So I have a lot to present, a lot to talk about, and I tend to not being able to shut up. So I will hand back now to Nidhi, and when it's my time, I will be shy.
Yeah, amazing. So I would like to ask you one more question that let's say for someone totally new to Web3 world or to the AI agent as well. So how would you explain that what a DeFi agent actually does?
Ooh, all right. So this is an extremely interesting topic, and just about this, I would be able to talk for an entire hour. But very briefly, basically, you have AI agent, and AI agents are really able to do a bunch of different stuff. When you talk about, for example, GMetis, we started as an AI agent. The point was to make some kind of a fun character that is rewarding people for their active interaction on Telegram, and providing some fun information, basically acting as a community moderator, but also providing some kind of a rewarding system using our own token. Well, right now we're not going to talk about this. Right now we are going to talk about DeFi AI, so
Yeah.
decentralized finance AI agents. That is a really great opportunity. And if you are a new developer or somebody who's not really a developer but thinking about getting into it, geez, Metis already have some workshops about the vibe coding and all this kind of stuff. So maybe you can find some interesting information on that. But basically, to step into it, Alith gives a pretty nice framework for you to just start doing simple stuff, and then gradually grow it up. And this is what I'm also going to show right now on this workshop, how you can kind of start. What I will give you like an open source repository that you can really start going with and try out and basically build up on. And if everything goes well, I will be able to also give the next steps, like specifically what you need to do to create something unique, something useful, maybe for yourself, or maybe to start your own new project. So really a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, yeah, as you mentioned that we are actually going to dive deep into the workshop, like, and we are definitely going to have the hands-on session. So, I would like to know one more thing that what do you think about this two combo, like AI and a DeFi? Like, how do you think, like, how does this work well together? Like, what's most exciting about this combo?
All right. It's a tricky thing because on one hand I'm super excited. I really want to help to also grow all of you to start creating your projects, do something for yourself. On the other hand, I'm really trying to make sure that you are cautious enough. There is a bunch of different tools, and yes, in the past we had malicious NFTs, malicious DeFi applications, platforms, and basically like everything. Half of crypto is scam and etc. So like, be really careful what you going to fork, what you're going to use, where you are going to provide your private key, how you are going to connect your wallet, etc., etc. Because once you do that, it can be either very awesome and very interesting and nice stuff, or it can go at itself. So that's one thing that I would really like to highlight in the beginning. Be cautious of what you're doing if you don't really understand, and do baby steps. I mean, either go with really big projects that are that already have a great reputation, or dive really into the stuff and try to go for open source project that you actually are able to look into. What are they doing? What exactly the code is doing? What you are going to be using? So that's one thing. I'm pretty much working on actually something. Sorry, Nidhi, I will cut.
Or
Cut it.
no issue. You can, yeah.
I'm working on something to make the whole wallet connection a bit more like basically provide that ease of use. There are different solutions for this. I think that what I'm working on is also kind of like unique and is not, there is no current solution on the market that would be doing that, to make something secure, something easy to use, something that people would be comfortable with, but also gives the proper amount of security without giving the trust to our project or whoever is going to use that solution in the future. But not today. Today we are going to, what I'm going to show is going to be like the simple thing. So you provide your private key, you use it only for yourself. And if you want to, scale it up, you want to create your own project, we can talk about it maybe in the next session. But that's a whole separate piece, how to handle security, how to handle authentication. So very cool, very interesting stuff for some, but for some it might be a bit boring, especially if that's not their focus. So yeah, let's not dive too much into that.
I'm pretty sure that it's going to be more interesting for me, especially because I'm more interested in the DeFi space. And when it comes to the AI agent, I'm always like, okay, let me check this, let me check this. So okay, all right. So without wasting a time further, okay, okay, we do have enough people as well, and you guys as well, like our viewers. Feel free to share this announcement that we are having the live stream to your X account, to the devs, your devs community, and wherever, to get more people so that they can also get the we'll say, yeah, they can also get the potentials and the good feedback from this workshop. So, uh, okay, I'll shut up myself right now, and I will be
That's
handing
fine.
over to you, Mart, because I have been speaking enough for like last many workshops. So it's time for you now to present. And okay, I'll be dropping some questions in between while you speak. Yeah, and feel
Awesome.
free, you guys, as well, to drop any comments or these questions. You guys have any questions or the comments? Feel free to drop in the comment section, please.
Can I share my screen now?
Sorry.
Can I share my screen right now?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Awesome. So,
And I'll mute myself now.
all right, almost there. Tell me if you can see it. Yes, I think you can see it because it's already duplicating. Um, so I guess I got a virtual thumbs up for seeing. I just wanted to make in a good YouTube tutorial style, bring up notebook and show what we are going to go through. Uh, I think it works pretty good because at least you will also have a full understanding. And I don't like PowerPoint. Nobody likes PowerPoint, to be honest. All right, so we had a bit of intro of DeFi AI thing now. What I'm going to step into is talk a little bit what the agent that I did is able to do, and I'm going to present it. First, I'm just gonna run the agent so you're seeing, how it's going happening in the background, but also I'm going to show the user interface that is going to be Telegram in our case. Then I'm going to dive a little bit more the code part, and let me check. Did I get okay? Nidhi, if I'm getting any question, then please just unmute and tell me because I won't be able to see. I have only one screen.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Awesome, thanks. So the next thing is I'm going to dive a little bit more deep into the code and just show how exactly Alith is the implementation and how I used it. But much more interestingly, how it can be, expanded. Then a little bit talk about what else, like how the current solution should be scaled up, because whatever I'm going to show is just a POC. It's a proof of concept to show that, yes, you can use Alith for Telegram integration, you can use Alith for lending, borrowing, doing this kind of stuff, but there is no really, business logic implemented there. There is no strategy, there is no kind of like a strategical interaction with the agent to perform some action. So we are going to dive into that because that's the interesting thing, how you can take this, what is already there available for you to grab, and how you can scale that up for yourself or as a separate project, as I said. Then stepping into a few, other things like security. Again, not very much in depth, but since I'm in the whole Metis community and I'm in interaction with different projects, I love helping and very much telling to everybody. I'm not sure how many views we have, so be careful with this. But anyway, reach out to me. I'm very happy to help anyone who is like struggling with this or have an idea and would like to do something, or just stuck in one point. Very happy to help. In many cases, I did this with current projects, and I received a chunk of codes, maybe in a Telegram chat or an email that contained like secrets, like tokens for some LLM, like OpenAI token or API key, or Telegram tokens, or well, private keys and things like this. So I will also just show some options there that you could use. To kind of avoid the situations that you commit your code with secrets that you really shouldn't do. And in many cases, GitHub would anyway like stop you from committing or pushing your code with a secret in it, but sometimes not, and it can be kind of problematic. Then again, we will continue deep diving, and I will also help you to explain, like, to understand, how you can continue developing stuff like this, maybe different platforms or different tokens, etc. And finally, just a few words about hosting and a knowledge base of the agents. So let's jump into this. If you go to github.com/gmetis2
Can you, sorry to cut you down, can you please zoom in? Can you make it a big one because it's like not visible, the screen?
this
No, the GitHub one.
GitHub one.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know. Maybe this. No. Yes, I can. Awesome. All
Yeah.
right. There you go.
Yeah. Perfect.
Thanks.
Now it's
Thanks.
good.
All right. So the most important part is that you go to github.com/gmetis2/DeFi Agent. It's a public repository, and you can find here all the code that I wrote with a pretty elaborate documentation as well that you can find out. Most importantly, the fact that this is a proof of concept, not a final product. That is like, just remember. All right. So what I did is I created a local copy of this repository, and we are going to
Sorry
work
to
on.
cut you down here as well. You need to make it a big screen again because it's not visible, like small,
Yeah,
small.
but
Yeah.
help me do that because
If you can control and plus sign, I think it should work. Yeah. Okay, this works.
something like that. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, this works.
Okay. All right. Okay. Nice. Um, okay. Great. So first, what we were talking about, what can this agent do that we are going to talk about. So I'm going to run it simply and locally right now, and unless it's the classic case that I'm presenting, so it's not working. If I come to here, and I say to my agent that, hi, can you tell me what can you do then our agent is going to respond to that. Ooh, I get some messages there. All right. It's coming slowly. And the nice stuff is when you are doing development and all kind of, then you can really follow up in the terminal what's going on. But you probably know this because you. All right. So a bit of repetition there. It's happening. I don't know why, but it happened with me with Eliza framework as well. And I think I sent here like 1,000 dots just to skip, and that's going to mess with us a little bit. But do you think it will mess with us? What do you say? Yes, it's going to mess with us. All right. I honestly don't know what to do with this now because it's going to respond to each dot that I sent here. I will try to stop it and hope for the best that it ignores, and run the agent once again. Fun stuff. I specifically send these dots just in order not to have this kind of the previous messages to disturb us. Let me try once again. Hopefully now it's going to answer on this one. Yes, excellent. All right, you can see here the message that I sent. So
Can you make this screen big as well with the control plus if
yes,
possible?
sure.
And yeah, perfect.
There you go. All right, and then I'm going to say that land 1 USDC enter. I swear to God, I trusted it just before, and now I see that it drops an error. Okay. Okay, but this is nice. So now we can see that this is actually happening. We are going to get the proper response now in Telegram anyway. But what I asked is to land one USDC, and in the response, okay, in the response you can see that it's not very intuitive and not very nice. Didn't really have time for formatting. But what happened is it created a transaction, it approved it, and then it landed one USDC. So if we follow this link that it's just sent, then you can see that success. Oh, that's fantastic to see. 22 seconds ago, we landed, and there is a tiny bit of bug because when you say that land one, then it's actually landing like 0.00001. That's something to fix. Probably just a couple of zeros to add there. Nidhi was pretty surprised that I'm playing on the mainnet, not on
Mainnet.
testnet, but that's why I don't mind landing, smaller than bigger amounts.
Yeah, now I see.
Obviously, don't do this on mainnet. Do this on
Yeah,
test.
now I see what did you mean that time.
Yeah, and then I say borrowed one USDC.
Can you
Again,
click on the hide this to hide
hide.
this
Sure,
pop-up? Yeah,
sure,
yeah,
sure.
perfect.
Yeah, of course. All right, so we landed one USDC, and then I say borrow one USDC. I think that the number and all these things are kind of irrelevant because we are trying to prove that the concept of asking an agent with words that you would like to do something, and then the agent goes and performs that action based on your request on chain. So that's pretty much it. Fingers crossed that it's a success as well. Okay, there was a little bit chance that it's going to fail because we are borrowing the same amount, but I already landed in the past, so probably that's why it's working. Anyway, if we go to Aave and refresh it, then we can also see that here as well. Connect, come on. All right, I really didn't want to spend so much time with the demo. I want to step into the code part now. So unless something very quick happens, I will just shouldn't refresh it. All right, you see that there is this little one. That's what we landed here, and we borrowed one more against it. So this is what happened. This is what we did. And the cool part in this is that we are chatting with an agent on Telegram, and this is what we get against. Now, as the next step, this was the demo, and I hope that it's clear that obviously this is not something a business strategy that you saw here, but kind of the steps that can help you to implement that particular strategy. So let's step into the code, if you don't mind, and talk a little bit about that. As you saw, I'm running this code on. By the way, you have here all the outputs. I'm running this code on my local machine. And most importantly, that I would like to ask you when you're doing something like this is to create a separate virtual environment. If you are using Python, if you're using any language, but if you're using Python, then this is the way to do it. And then activate the environment and then install your modules into that environment because you might want to use that in a couple of months or later or before. and you don't want to have problems with different versions. I did this. I will commit this. I will push this requirements.txt file. It wasn't there before, and I just did this. So pretty much talking against myself. But you will need to install this very simply after cloning this repository, so that you can use as well the same.
Can you
Now,
yeah. So like after
yep.
the cloning the repository, we're gonna first do the installation. And does this all the steps have mentioned in the GitHub repository? Like if I'm the new person here and if I want to follow all the steps, um, like
Mhm.
I don't want to miss any steps. So I just want to make sure that if it's available here or
Absolutely. Let's have a look into that, and if not, then I'm going to add it here just today.
yeah,
Um, there is a bit of.
because we are going to have the blog post as well. So I will be writing a blog post for it. So we need these steps to, perform all the I mean, to run the project basically.
I see,
All
because
right.
I
But
think
yeah, yeah. We
in
do have
setup,
like few of them. Yeah.
only one thing is missing is to install
Yeah.
the
Got it.
requirement, the text file. Other than that, there is the environment file that I'm
Environment.
talking about, and
Yeah.
this is actually the next step. I'm obviously not going to open this one. I'm going to
Yeah.
open this and just show you that
Yeah. For
this is where I'm storing the environment. This is the secrets. I'm using DeepSeek because it's cheaper, but you can use OpenAI. You can use Olama, and then running it locally on your machine.
you
Mhm.
so you said you use DeepSeek API key, right? So do you purchase it like, or is it a free to use?
Yeah, so I'm purchasing it. These are pretty much the same business model as. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they are pretty much the same business model. You buy a certain number of tokens. You can use that, and yeah, it's pay for what you use.
Yeah.
What I'm using for OpenAI. Just to give you it's always hard to really understand for people. People usually know that okay, OpenAI is expensive, DeepSeek is cheaper. I don't know what. To give an example, I used to use OpenAI key API for the vast majority of GMetis agents live, and it was pretty busy, probably because of the reward engine. People interacted more in the group. They received the reward periodically. So because of this, people really interacted a lot in the group, and this caused that I paid around $5 to $10 daily for OpenAI, whereas for DeepSeek, it's about like 10 times less. I'm not sure exactly, the exact numbers, but for OpenAI, I'm absolutely sure that I paid around $5 to $10 on the daily basis for a single agent on Telegram that is interacting with people. So that is really a lot, and you need to be careful, how you are actually
Yeah.
parsing it, how you are using the knowledge. And this is also like I wanted to talk a little bit about it at the end of the call. So yeah, use DeepSeek or use Olama. I guess that Nidhi, you already created a workshop, or if not, then maybe in the future you will.
Yeah,
But
sure.
okay, the rest is Telegram bot tokens. I'm not going to talk about it because you really just need to Google it. But you go to Telegram bot father, create a new bot, give a name to it, give a username for it, and you get the API key for that. I just talked about it. Okay, never mind. And then for Web3 integration, as I said, so in this current solution that I'm presenting, you need to provide your private key, you need to provide your wallet address. So this, what I'm showing right now, is obviously for developers to play around. And in the future to implement some kind of, authentication method or connect wallets or basically different method than this. So this is for you to even create like a very sophisticated solution and start running it for yourself. What is that solution? What could that solution be? You might ask. So then let's step into the code. Unless you have a question, Nidhi. No. All right. So then let's step into that code. And I broke it down to two separate pieces. One of them, we are going to look at specifically about the Web3 integration. So how exactly this landing, creating the transactions, approving the transactions work, how you are interacting with contracts, how exactly you can get these details for the contracts. So that's kind of the important part. And then for the next part, we are talking about the agent definition, how the agent is actually like executing those actions, and how complicated is it? It is not. It's a pretty short code, and most of it is kind of junk that might be that you could just take out some parts and put it separately, that are constant parts. Doesn't necessarily need to be in the code, and that's why it's going to be just shorter to talk about it really. So for the Web3, the first thing that we are going to do is obviously take these secrets from your environmental variables, that you can either keep it here, or if you are using a virtual machine or any app service solutions, you can just save it as actual environment variables that you would need to use your terminal to do that, and you basically are able to import the same environmental variables just like you are doing here from this .env file. Since we are doing getting it from .env file, we need to have this and this little pieces of code in order to be able to access those environmental variables. But basically, these are all defined in my .env file. You don't need to put here anything like paragraphs or whatever. You just like copy here the exact keys and tokens and whatnot. All right. The next thing is that you're going to need is to implement the same thing or to expand it, is to add more token addresses and to get more ABIs. Nidhi, maybe you know what's the term, but ABI shortens. But basically, every contract has an ABI that
API,
but that really defines the what the smart contract can do and how it's structured. It's a very specific format, and any smart contract that has been validated has this ABI text, and you can just get it out from Andromeda.explorer.io, if I'm not wrong, but I'm going to check that address right away. And the same thing with the token addresses. So this is obvious that how you can get it. Ooh, okay, this is a future topic. So if we go here, Andromeda-explorer.metis.io. I'm sorry about that. So here, if for example you go to MUSDC, then you have, I don't know, do I have a slow internet or something? I don't know. But then you have here the token address that you will need to copy into here. And the reason you are doing it because you are interacting with these tokens, with these contracts, and to be able to do so, you need to have an address to that token, to that smart contract, and also you're going to need the ABI for it. The way I implemented this, I just took all that ABI and I saved them separately as assets. And I'm 100% sure that Nidhi or any other hardcore Web3 developer have better solutions for this. I'm pretty sure that you are able to just simply use an API to get the ABI. So nice. And do that. Implement it. It's definitely going to make it faster, because what I had to do is I went into these separate smart contracts. I copied out the ABI files. I stored it here. That looks something like this. And this is what I needed to be able to lend USDC, to lend USDT, to borrow USDC, borrow USDT. And what I needed is to have this ABI file for each of the token that I want to interact with, that is currently the free stables, and the Aave borrowing and lending pool that we are using in Aave. Now, my next step is, for example, to do this for Aqualis. And in order to do so, Aqualis has a different lending pool ABI and smart contracts, obviously, than Aave. So then I'm going to need to do this the same, unless some of you come up with a solution to actually, automate this part, so that we don't need to manually extract these ABI files and do so. Either I'm going to do this, or one of you. And if one of you do this, please do it in github.com/GMetis add2/DeFi_agent. Do a pull request, and let's work on this together, because that could be really fun. Or just do it on yourself, for yourself. That's also absolutely fine. Then the next thing is I have some prints and some error checks if everything is working fine. And as I said, so we are loading the ABIs, we are connecting to these smart contracts in order to be able to first approve a token spend, and also to perform an action. This is, I think, kind of like a standard thing, and I don't really want to step into very deep into this, but you should be able to use this code to expand to further tokens, to further platforms, to really create a proper strategy to do so. So right now we have free actions. We can lend, we can borrow, and obviously we can repay. And these are the actions that are possible to perform with this action. Now it's kind of tricky, and as I said, there is a lot of possibility to optimization, but implementing it this way, I believe it helps for anyone that is kind of like starting now to have a clearer picture what is exactly happening, how it is exactly happening, so that you have lending, borrowing, repaying separately here, and also you kind of have this feedback loops from the agent, actually from these functions, separately. And finally, of course, we are also the same feedback loop is basically printing out these things to the terminal window when you're playing around with this. So this was the pre-works we had to do in order to be able to interact with Aave's borrowing and lending pool. And the next step is to kind of implement the solution for Telegram, for Alith, to really have this human interaction with the bot without hard coding anything specific, so that we can really ask what you can do, how you can do it, etc., etc. And this is how I did this. Is first of all, I had to create a function that is where I define that the possibilities on how a transaction feedback should look like for the user, actually for the developer, on what is happening, and at the end to the user as well, and what are the possible actions that an agent can perform. I'm sure that it could be also created as an NCP, but But let's not talk about that. That is also there was a separate workshop about that, so I'm not going to step into that. If I kind of move into that direction, you're going to see that in the repository. That's going to just kind of like more like a cleaning operation, that we clean up the code so that as we grow, this is not sustainable. So as we grow, these functions, these separate integrations with different platforms, DeFi platforms, would need to step out a separate piece of code. So that's just going to make it cleaner. If you look at more elaborate DeFi frameworks that have like kind of more examples, there you can see the same thing. Basically, we just need to start modularizing it once it starts making sense. As long as we create POCs, as long as we are, just start to creating on our own, how it should work, it's absolutely fine to write it all in one and then modularize it as we go. At least that's my approach here, and it always worked for me. So I'm going to keep doing it like this. All right. And then the next thing is that we have the agent, and we need to define this agent, what it can do. And you're familiar with this if you're following Alith and LazAI's workshops. So as I said, we are using DeepSeek instead of OpenAI. As usually, we are providing a DeepSeek API key for it and the base URL. There are many tweaks that you could do this. So, for example, if you have happen to have maybe from your company some Azure credits or whatever, then you could also create your own DeepSeek LLM endpoint and then provide it here. So that and that would also.
How to create this your own DeepSeek endpoints?
Okay, that's a tricky one. I would say that if you are talking about Azure and every separate hyperscaler, so main cloud provider solution provider have similar solution. I don't know what is for GCP, for AWS, for whatever else. For Azure, it would be they are changing the name very often. Now it's, I think, called AI Labs, I think, or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. In the past, it was ML. I don't want to say anything stupid, to be honest. The point is that all the cloud provider has their separate solution to actually deploy your own LLM, and then you have your own base URL, and you can use that. And
I see.
the difference is that then you are not going to pay DeepSeek for your API for every API call, but you're going to pay the cloud provider. And by this, it can be cheaper because you're not paying for a specific LLM solution, but you're paying for an ML service that these cloud providers are providing, and then you can choose what kind of model you would like to use there. For example, as you know, DeepSeek is a pretty good, actually, open source option. But this is something similar that you could do in a kind of like more basic setup. When you download Olama, you run a DeepSeek model there, and you kind of host that. That's also an option, but it's not, obviously it's not sustainable when you're hosting it on your own local environment. So if it's a server that is surely running, maybe a Raspberry Pi, that could be possible, but not on a laptop or a PC or something. Because
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's something I would say that if there has not yet been a separate session on this, then definitely there should be, because it's it's a very interesting topic, and I think that more and more relevant to people that are really diving deep into like early stage development with AI, because for many people, one of the bottleneck is really when they start developing, they know that, okay, actually, like, I'm not going to elaborate on this, just use OpenAI API. And then you start doing it like that. And, it's not sustainable to pay like $5-10 per day if you are a developer of a new project that is obviously eating money rather than making. So that's why I think that it would be good to make like a separate session on how to make it like easier for entry-level developers. If you don't have any idea, just just Google Olama, because I'm not going to talk more about it. Google Olama, learn how to run your own model. It's really simple and step-by-step. There is a lot of step-by-step introduction, and then you can start using it for your own project. And if I will have like 2 more minutes at the end of the presentation, I'm going to talk about hosting, and I will talk a little bit about this so that
Yeah.
we can.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
All right, and basically this is the part that is needed for the Alith agent part. We create an agent using this input after this. Then we initialize a Telegram bot, so to ensure that the communication can work together with through Telegram, and we have then the handler for the application that is using all this input that we just provided and all these functions, so that the agent can actually interact with the user and perform the actions that we were just talking about. Let me have a look at what we want to talk about. Security, I talk a little bit about this, so that's something. Token addresses, I talked about it, not too much. The ABI files, if I very quickly find, I was not prepared with this, and it looks like that for some reason it's not loading USDC token. All right, yeah, it's here slowly. So you can see the token address here that I was talking about, and I just wanted to quickly step into the ABI part, because I was talking a lot about this, how you can get it. You need to scroll down here, and you have the contract ABI here. And for all the contracts on Metis, Ethereum, all the EVM chains, if the contract is verified contract, then you're going to be able to find this. So you are going to be able to use that for your interactions. And now the last thing that I really want to step into, because what we see here is a pretty brief introduction on how this agent was developed, but how you can go with this and how you should think about it strategically. What you can build out of this is really amazing, because if you think about it, we have I think, okay, Metis is a bit limited on this, but there is Aqualis and there is Aave only for lending. And if you think about it, and what I'm also working on, but I'm more than happy if somebody just takes me over and quickly develops the same thing, because I would love to use that anyway, is to have a conversations with an agent and agree on a strategy. And this thing, what I just showed you, is pretty much the base for this, because agreeing a strategy is just using the same kind of sequence and integrations that we did with Aave. But when you're talking with the agent, if you agree with this on a strategy, and by strategy I mean something like a safe strategy, when you say that you have stables like USDC, USDT, whatever, and you want to only perform any kind of strategy using these stables, you don't want to swap tokens to Metis or whatever, that could be kind of a safe strategy. And then use USDC, borrow USDT depending on the APYs, and in order to always stay in positive. And if the APYs are changing, to allow the agent to quickly repay, withdraw, borrow again, swap different stables, so USDC to USDT, then borrow USDT, then lend USDT and then borrow USDC against it, to be always in with a positive output. And you would be able to do this with other platforms as well, so that you don't only do this, for example, in Aave, but you would allow the agent to do all these calculations across the different platforms. And now I was always only talking about lending and borrowing, but again, the same thing. So to use LP pools and, for example, provide liquidity to a USDC USDT pool or something like this, it would be also pretty much possible to include here. And this is mind blowing if you think about it, that if you collect all these, even in a small ecosystem like Metis, if you collect all these different protocols and with one agent, and perform this kind of strategy, even a safe strategy could be really valuable. Not talking about doing like half the gen or full the gen mode, when you're also talking about small caps, micro caps, etc., etc. But that's trading bot, that's a bit different. I also wrote something like that, but I'm not going to talk about this. The point is that there is really like a lot of possibility here. And since everything that I showed is there to grab, if you're just a little bit interested, you can just take this repository, create your local copy, run this script, and then simply run the agent. Obviously, after setting up your environmental variables, so that you have some LLM model that is supporting the agent's communication, and your wallet is connected. And then you have your base, and just start growing that, add new platforms, new tokens, maybe an integration with Hercules DEX. That's what I did in one of the trading solution that I did, and then you kind of like give one more layer to this, so that you can swap, for example, only ETH or only Metis with stables, and play with that. That's kind of a different thing, because that's a trading strategy. But go crazy. There is really like a million different options. And the good stuff is that since it's still relatively a new thing, even though there are already a lot of solutions around it, there is still ideas that to be explored and that has not been developed yet. So I'm working on that, and I really hope that you will work on that as well. And if you do, and if you stuck, then reach out to me, and I promise I'm not going to steal. I'm more than happy to help. 'Cause I
Yeah,
enjoy. All right,
definitely.
that's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this amazing session. And I hope that the viewers have got like hands-on experience on the creating like DeFi AI agents. So we would love to hear from you guys that what you have learned and how was your experience with this, right? And if you have any questions, if you have any query errors, if while you are deploying this project, definitely feel free to reach out us on the Metis side as well as on the GMetis side. I can connect you to the GMetis with the Mad, right? If you have any question, queries regarding this DeFi AI agent, and as he mentioned that he would love to get connection from you guys to work on the more advanced level of this project, right? So maybe you can reach out us or the GMetis on that as well. And yeah, feel free to drop out any comments, feedbacks, and suggestions, as I mentioned earlier as well. But mentioning again, as we have new people here. I see that. So feel free, guys, to give us a feedback and suggestions on the Alith Dev community and the Metis developers community on Telegram channel or on the X, or yeah, feel free to give us suggestions and comments for like on a whatever topic. Like if you want to see us doing a workshop on the next any good topic, we would love to hear that as well. And I thanks all of you to give us a valuable time, as well as Mart. Special thanks to you to join us for this amazing session. And I I see that there's no questions or the comments on the comment section, so we can end the stream here and see you guys on the next Thursday with another topic and with another workshop live stream. So thanks all again. Thanks, Mart, once more time. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
It was
See
a
you
pleasure.
guys. Yeah. Bye bye. See you guys.